thanks for listening to Conversations and Connections. We're the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas. I'm Stuart Burson, the prevention coordinator for the agency. Glad you could join us today. Today we are talking with Clay Alverson with the Men's Fieldhouse. We're going to talk to Clay just about what the Men's Fieldhouse is and the services they provide for the community. Clay, thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Stuart. I look forward to speaking with you.
Awesome. Great. I actually met Clay probably about a month ago at a Angelina County Chamber event.
Yes, at a breakfast.
One of the breakfasts, and heard what the Men's Fieldhouse is, and so I think maybe the Family Crisis Center can work with the Men's Fieldhouse on some stuff. So that may be in the cards in the future. But today we're just kind of talking about the men's. Almost said the Men's Warehouse, the Men's Fieldhouse, and exactly what they are and everything. So, Clay, first of all, just kind of tell me a little bit about the Men's Fieldhouse. What is it that you guys do?
We're a faith-based education center. We offer classes 2 semesters a year, fall, spring, and we meet for 12 weeks, 3 nights a week. And we offer classes to men. Most of them are in poverty. Most of them are homeless, living in a shelter, or sometimes in their vans. I would say 70% of the men are in that situation.
Okay.
Coming out of drug addiction, alcoholism, incarceration, and they need a hand up. So we offer introductory computer skills. We offer classes that give them soft job skills. The curriculum is called Jobs for Life.
Okay.
And it teaches them to, dress for the part, show up on time, show up to work every day that you're scheduled to work, take care of your personal business on your personal time. Just the fundamentals of having a job.
Sure.
And if you weren't taught that as a child, then you don't have those skills. And that's what we're trying to work toward.
And I guess some of us are maybe just under the assumption, some of us are probably taught that growing up about responsibility and when you have a job and everything. But you got to realize a lot of people may not have been that fortunate or may not have had those opportunities to be taught that.
Well, that's correct. And a lot of it goes back to our society is getting further and further away from a husband, wife, mother, father family unit. The absence of fathers is growing just tremendously in this country.
Right.
And and they're not, young men are not being taught how to go to work or the value of work or the value of family.
Sure. So I guess what's the goal? What skills or knowledge do you want these men that are part of the program, what do you want them to come away with?
First of all, we want to build their self-esteem. We want them to be healed from the standpoint of emotional, spiritual, and sometimes physical. We refer them to the health district and other agencies that can help them physically and mentally, and that goes toward education. We want to give them the basics and the self-confidence to continue education, to look for a job, to realize that they are worthy of work, regardless of their past, and they're worthy of being loved and cared about. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the main things. Plus, that all leads to helping them restore their relationships with their families. It helps them to possibly have a chance to be the father, offer a few skills to be the father that they should be.
Right. How long is the program? When someone enrolls, how long are they, from beginning to end, how long are they involved with the program?
For the classes, it's 12 weeks.
Okay.
3 nights a week, 5 to about 8:15 in the evenings. And we do for the first 8 weeks, we do Jobs for Life, which is the soft skills training, 2 nights a week. And we do computer training the entire 12 weeks. The other 4 weeks, 1 night a week, we do financial literacy training. And then we also bring in helping agencies, possibly like the Family Crisis Center, to put on a program, to teach what resources are available here or in other agencies. and sometimes we bring in lawyers, judges, people that own businesses, just to let these guys know what's available.
Sure.
What's out there in the working world, as well as the helping agencies world.
About how many men are usually in each class or each 12-week
Sessions. Sometimes we start with 6 and graduate 3 to 4. We do have dropouts. It's a really easy class, and we provide a meal every night. The classes are free, but sometimes they just decide not to finish, which is really sad.
Yeah. Is there a prerequisite or a requirement for men to take part in the program?
The only things we ask is, number 1, that they're 18 years of age or older, and 2, that they show up sober.
Okay.
That's it. There's no, we don't do criminal background checks. We're more concerned with these men's future more so than their past.
Okay. How was the program started? How long has this been around? Well, first of all, how long has this been around?
This program, I couldn't find data on the year. We are an affiliate of the Christian Men's Job Corps.
Okay.
So, and that is headed up by what's called the Women's Mission Union, and it's a Baptist organization. But they first came up with Christian Women's Job Corps, which that is what the Mosaic Center here in Lufkin is.
Okay.
They are a Christian Women's Job Corps affiliate. All right. Well, women were doing such a good job at ministering to women and teaching job skills and relationships and the Word of God. They have Bible training just like we do, or Bible classes like we do. But they did it so well, they thought, well, this would be great for men. Well, men are not as relational, and they don't reach out for help as quickly and easily as women do. And so this is a much more difficult program to do for that simple reason. But it is much the same as what the women offer. So anyway, here in Lufkin, we've been doing this for 4 years, and we have graduated about 30 students. And now on the Mosaic Center side, they've been doing it for 18, and this is like their 33rd class. And so we are at our core, we're the same, but they offer a lot more classes. They go during the day. But that's kind of how we got started, is that the Mosaic Center here was very successful, and there was a group of men that saw a need for giving guys a hand up that are homeless, coming out of incarceration, and suffering from other maladies such as drug addiction and alcoholism.
How do you get the word out about the program? How do you recruit? I guess students, I should say for students. How do you get the word out that this program is available and you would love for them to come take part?
We do that through churches to get them. They support us financially, and so we try to make information available to their congregations so that they can spread the word. We do it through the chamber. We do it through Facebook, and we have a website. We also go to places like Church in the Park. That's a small church that meets in Kiwanis Park Wednesdays and Fridays, and everyone is welcome, but it's kind of designed to meet the needs of the homeless people.
Okay.
So we go there. We go to churches that minister to people that I would say are on the edge, of all those things we discussed, the alcoholism, incarceration. So word of mouth.
Okay. So all the men are there voluntarily. Why do you think some of them don't want to complete, or they don't complete the program?
That's a difficult question. Sometimes many of them live at Godtel.
Okay.
So, which is a homeless shelter here in Lufkin. And they will see an opportunity to move out. And a lot of the times, many times it's with a girlfriend. And so they move, the girlfriend's got a house, so they move out of Godtel. They quit coming to the program. And then we see them later, and all that fell apart. And, so we encourage them. We don't hold anything against them. That's really a lot of what happens. Sometimes we have people that have suffered PTSD either through military service or as children, and they just something triggers them, and they leave the program.
Yeah. So, if they leave the program, are they always welcome back to continue, or do they have to wait till the next 12 weeks? How?
They're welcome back.
Okay.
Generally, when they leave, it's better that they start, that they don't try to make up too many classes.
Yeah.
In other words,
Right.
so start in the next session.
Okay.
But as long as they left on good terms, we always welcome them back. And we try to follow up with the people that left the program early and the graduates. We try to call, text, but many times it's difficult to keep up with them.
Sure. Where do y'all meet at?
We meet at 1813 East Denman Avenue here in Lufkin. It is between the Loop and Denman Avenue Baptist Church.
Okay.
We rent the house from them. Now, we are not affiliated with any one church, but we are supported by many churches in the community.
Sure.
Now, we were talking earlier that this is all volunteer, and it is basically, but for men that are on probation, they can get community service hours by attending and graduating from the program. So that's been a help to those on probation.
Right.
It's a help to the probation department, and we've had some success with that.
Okay, great. If someone's interested in, how does one reach out to you? If they're interested in becoming a part of the program, how do they go about that?
They can call 936-632-2035. That's our office number.
Okay.
Or they can contact us through Facebook, which it's The Men's Fieldhouse.
Okay.
And then themensfieldhouse.org is our website. So there's several ways that they can contact us.
Okay, great. So how did you find yourself at the Men's Fieldhouse, kind of in charge of this program?
Well, Martin Baker at the shelter here in town, can't even think of it, Godtel, he was teaching classes, the Jobs for Life classes there on his own. And so he'd call me, and so I would go and help from time to time. And then I kind of got a taste for what they were teaching. But even prior to that, I met a young man. He was about 30 years old, and he'd gotten in trouble when he was 15 and spent time in Texas Youth Department of Corrections, and he would be on parole. Mm-hmm. He would get out and basically would be homeless. His family didn't want to take him in, didn't want anything to do with him. So, of course, he would end up, he's got a prison record, and he was young, he couldn't find a job, he had no job skills. So, basically, he would some way or another violate his parole and end up back in prison. Well, by the time I met him at the age of 30, he had spent half his life in prison. And it was nonviolent crimes. And I thought, and I couldn't get him a job. He had no job skills. We couldn't hardly find him a place to live because he had a prison record. And so I just thought there's got to be something. And so I visited with, at the time, the executive director of the Mosaic Center, which was Donna Bustler. And she said, well, what about Christian Men's Job Corps? She said, it's like this, but, this is what we do for the women. Mm-hmm. I thought, well, okay. And this was many years ago. Well, it just wasn't the right time. I went and took some classes. I talked to some people in town. And after running into roadblock after roadblock, I said, okay, I'll wait. And so years later, there was a couple in town, a man and a husband and wife, that said, we would like to see this program here. They had the resources. They had the connections. And I heard about it, started volunteering. I was on the board, and we had a vacancy at the executive director's level come open a year ago, and stepped into it because I did have some of the training needed to continue as a Christian men's Job Corps site.
Okay. All right. Great.
So,
okay. So, are you a native East Texans? Have you?
No, I grew up in Burnett, Texas, in Central Texas.
Okay.
50 miles northwest of Austin,
All
up
right.
in the hill country.
Yeah.
And born and raised there. Left in 1977 and went to attend Texas A&M. Got out of there in 1981 with a degree in construction management, and did that for quite a number of years.
Okay.
And took a job in East Texas, thinking I'd kind of slow down and stop traveling all over the country, raise my family here. And so we moved here in 1989, and that job, after 4 years, that company folded, and I started up a business that was forestry related, and continued into that another business that had some characteristics of forestry, and I still do that, as well as the Men's Fieldhouse.
Have you always had I don't know what's the word, a calling, I guess, to help folks?
Yeah, I would say mainly as I grew older, I did. My conversion experience was at the age of 40. I became a believer in Jesus Christ at the age of 40. And there was no crisis in my life, but it did change the way I looked at people, what I considered about them, and I became very interested on helping people out of the situation that they were in.
Yeah,
and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how I was not helping people in some cases by what I was doing. I thought I was helping, but it ended up I was enabling. And we at the Men's Fieldhouse do not enable. We don't give out money. We provide a meal.
Yeah.
But it's not we don't do that for the general public. We offer classes and we offer our faith in Christ. And that's a very important part of what we do.
Right.
We don't force anyone to go to church. We don't force anything on anyone. We just lay it out there. These are grown men, and they can make their own decisions based on what we have to offer.
Great. All right. Well, Clay, I'm personally looking forward to hopefully we'll be able to do something. I know we've been kind of talking about the prevention team coming out there, talking to the guys about healthy masculinity and healthy relationships and things like that. So hopefully we'll be able to do that later in the year. Thank you so much for coming by, taking some time and coming by.
Well, thank you, Stuart. I enjoyed it.
And again, if you're interested in taking part in the programming at the Men's Fieldhouse, you can give Clay a call. That number is 936-632-2035. You can also look them up on Facebook. And the website again, is it the Men's Fieldhouse?
TheMen'sFieldhouse.org.
Okay. And if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at conversationsandconnections@fccet.com. And if you feel like you need the services of the Family Crisis Center for any reason, we do have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week hotline. That number is 1-800-828-7233. And subscribe to Conversations and Connections. We'd love to have as many subscribers, of course, as we can. And you can subscribe, download us at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or the podcast service of your choice. And remember, be the voice, if not for you, for someone else.